who was sacrificed on the cross? That's a very good question. We have no idea who was on the cross or whether cross even took place, because the Quran is very unclear about that. The Quran says, "Walakin shubbiha lahum." It appeared to them so. This can mean anything. This can mean that the Christians, they just managed to believe in this story, which was spread by certain people, that Jesus died on the cross. He was crucified, right? Or it can also mean that someone else was put on the cross instead of Jesus Christ. And this story actually originates from the Christians. There was a group of Christians called Basilidians in the 2nd century CE who believed that it was not Jesus Christ who was put on the cross, it was Simon of Cyrene, one of the companions, one of the disciples of Jesus Christ, who was given the appearance of Jesus Christ and he was put on the cross. So this substitution theory, we call it the substitution theory, that someone else was substituted in place of Jesus Christ and put on the cross. We actually as Muslims have no grounds to believe in that particular theory, although the theory exists in the tafsir literature. In some of the commentaries of the Quran, this opinion has been put forward by some Muslim commentators, but there is nothing from the Prophet of Islam in this regard. There is not a statement from the Prophet where the Prophet said someone else was put instead of Jesus on the cross. There's nothing. So the Quran is very vague, unclear about this. Right? And what my understanding is that Jesus was, there was no one else put on the cross instead of Jesus. Rather, Christians started to believe this. A story was made famous, and that story was copied. And when it was copied, as they say, when some misinformation is repeated often, and it's repeated again and again, what happens to it? It becomes what? It becomes the truth. So, as far as the Christian world was concerned, the story was propagated, it was documented, and it was repeated and copied again and again in different gospels and literature. Therefore, the story became true, unfortunately. Okay, we the Muslims believe it was not Jesus. He was not put on the cross. He did not die. What happened on the cross, or what's with the story of the cross, we have no idea. Okay, it's all conjecture, as the Quran clearly states in the same verse. They believe in nothing but conjecture.